What is going on, everybody? I hope y'all been doing good. It's been a while since I talked to y'all. But I hope, everybody been having a nice day or a nice night, depending on whatever time you watching. I hope y'all been doing good. But as y'all can see from the title of this video, I want to talk about the homie Z Broly. So, for those that don't know, Z Broly did get nerfed a little. And I feel like this is long overdue for me covering this character since I did Gotenks and Gogeta already. I have never covered Broly, which is crazy, but I feel like now is a better time than ever since he got nerfed and, words just flying around as they always do in the world of social media. Broly bad, he's unplayable, blah, blah, blah. So I want to try to shed some light on things, how you can still play Broly and kind of how to work around the nerfs that he got. So, without further ado, and I want to say this, everything I'm about to talk about is how I play Broly and how I perceive how you can approach with Broly was optimal for him, so don't take my word as law. People might got different perspectives on things, and that's fine. But this is just how I play Broly, and what I think is effective. Amen. All right. So, first thing I want to talk about is his. If y'all see me randomly jumping like this, is because I got what's the stick drift? My controller randomly makes me jump, so I need to get a new controller. But so they nerfed Broly 5S, so his 5S has more recovery now. As you can see, it's -9 now. So it probably don't look like it now, but if you play with Broly yourself, you can kind of feel the weight behind his 5S. JS the same thing. So, you can kind of feel the weight on these key blasts now more than before. So, so the good thing is with these key blasts, though, is that even though they got more recovery, you can still 2H. So, it's not that bad where it's to the point like, you just can't do it. So you still can 2H if they super dash through your key blast. One thing that is a bit more, what's the word I'm looking for? Prevalent, more common I should say, is this. So people normally try to, jump in or kind of float in with Broly or against Broly when he doing the zoning. So now, see, like before I possibly could have recovered in time. Yeah, definitely last patch I could have recovered doing this. Like, see, I would have definitely recovered sooner. But now that's kind of more common for people to try to float in. So, the good thing is, you can always angle your key blast still. So that's still a thing. I feel like this nerf to the 5S, and I retract my statement about the JS. I don't know if JS got nerfed the way 5S did. I don't know, so I just leave that part out. But for sure, 5S, I feel like they just made his zoning more, I'll say a little more tame. Because, I guess maybe people was just autopilot with Broly, and they felt like they needed to nerf it, even though it's like 20 times more worse things in the game now, but I digress. So, what you can do is, and this is what I like to do, you can test it out with your own characters. If Broly 5S, you can do stuff like this. That's why I like Gotenks 8 with Broly. 5S is more scary now because now you can just do this. You always been able to do this, but I'm just saying. So with the nerf, you really want to use this to lock people down. So that's the good thing about his 5S, you know, is now that it's nerfed, you really want to use it more in ways to lock people down or to get a hit confirm. That's if you had that kind of assist. And, you know, of course, good old C assist. You can always just kind of, you know, do something like this. See a hit confirm and then go into whatever. So another thing that I like to do is, let me see, let me make them super dash. And this is for, you know, y'all can apply this to characters y'all have that might have a assist that goes forward or, you know, a beam, anything. Excuse me. So y'all see, Gotenks beat don't reach. Gotenks beat don't reach, but if somebody were to super dash, you know, I can use Gotenks beat to punish. And I get a full confirm from there. Same thing for, you know, Gogeta C. So, you know, of course, people ain't just gonna super dash with the snap of a finger in the way I just displayed it here. But doing stuff like this, it makes people scared to try to advance because you're showing that you are calling your assists to kind of cover the middle right here, in which they will try to jump, and then, you know, you still got the, oh, I would definitely got clipped, but you got that to angle your key blast. So I say that's something you can apply to your team, and I would assume beams work the same way. You know, like, even though this is C assist beam, but, you know, like, I'm sure a beam you can kind of get a full hit confirm and then go into whatever just like that. So, you know, like I say, just, you know, test it out with your team, whatever you may have Broly, whoever you may have Broly paired up with. And his JS, the same thing. So, you know, the same way that you can use the 5S, you can do the same with the JS. So, like, I can do this and then still, oh, it looks like it's a bit harder. Let's see. There we go. I had to concentrate on that one a little bit. But of course, with good old C assist, it ain't that bad. But yeah, so that's Broly 5S. You know, it's nerfed, but Broly can still control the screen very well. You know, and I feel like now his position, at least for my team, I put him anchor. I mean, mid. I put him mid now because I do feel like he better with assists just because of the changes made to him. So the next thing is, you know, of course, the barrier. So the barrier, and I can speak on this from both sides. I noticed when you had a barrier up, and for people that don't know, you know, it goes through all projectiles. I mean, all through every assist. So it's not just projectiles. They made this change last season when they did that stupid 5M buff for Vegeta. This is the one thing I feel like they could have nerfed on Broly to just make it only projectiles, because I feel like this buff was just unnecessary. But for those that don't know, if you are running TN and you run up against a Broly doing this, TNB actually goes through Broly's projectile. And this move do, like, even if he out on point, same thing. So that's something to keep in mind. I don't know why TN's beats Broly's barrier, Vegito A sometimes beats Broly barrier too. You know, it's weird. I don't know why, but so Broly's shield, I can speak on both sides that when the shield is out, it makes people want to super dash. So when you have this barrier out, you really got to be careful. You know, you got to just probably shoot like one key blast or something. You know, because when this is out, people are trying to super dash just so they can get the shield off you. And you can, you know, for those that don't know, you can just do the barrier over, you know, just to reset the timer, you know, because it goes out after a certain time. You can hurry up and just start it over again. So be careful when you have the shield, the barrier out, because people are more inclined to super dash, do something risky to jump in and get the barrier off you. And I can speak from experience because I do the same thing whenever I see Broly got his shield up. And then in combination with the stuff I was saying with, you know, using your assist to kind of cover Broly, you know, in the mid-range, the shield is very scary. And then sometimes, you know, if you want to just build your meter up, it's real nice. So that's about all I feel that needs to be said about Broly. Broly barrier is very strong, and it makes people want to do something because people don't like being full screen against them. They want to get in. You know, even the most patient of players, if you just keep doing this, they're gonna super dash eventually. They're gonna do something. So keep that in mind. Now the next thing is this move here. So this move is very good. Y'all probably notice Broly players do this. Well, I know I do it. You know, sometimes people do this, and now the reason they doing this is because to stop you from super dashing. And if you got a C assist, good old C assist, then they get the smoke for it. Now, the problem with this is if somebody knows that, they can do this on reaction. I don't feel like switching to Broly to show y'all, but that's just how it looks. You know, people see you do this, and then they'll react and go into level 3. Takes a while for Broly to recover from this. So people also can do level 1. You know, depending on, let me see. Like I can even pick 10. Let me see. And oh, probably not. Oh, I only have to, let me see. Yeah, like I'm definitely gonna explode. So definitely be careful when you're doing this. So what I like to do to try to throw people off is and the floating stuff I was talking about earlier, that works against this too. I'm messing it up, but that works against this too when people float in and punish. So what I like to do to try to kind of test people reactions, are they reacting quote unquote, or are they anticipating me do it? I like to dash a little, just dash just a little bit, you know, something like this, because you see when Broly does the 236S, eraser blow, whatever, you see he moves forward a little bit. So I try to do that as well, just to see, are they reacting to just the ball, or are they just reacting to seeing me move forward, and they just doing it preemptively, you know, assuming that I'm about to do it. So you can do that to try to kind of mix them up a little bit, mix up their timing. And another thing that's nice, this if you were to connect this full screen, see, it's on guard first only. So if this were to connect, now you just got in for free. So that's something to keep in mind about this move too. And depending on your assists, you can use this to like jail them into block stun and then dash in that way. See? So, and as a hit confirm too. You know, you can get pretty creative depending on what assist you have that goes full screen or tracks full screen. Like, for example, Janemba A. You know, Janemba A assist. You know, this plus Janemba A will be really good. And, you know, of course, good OC assist. You can, well, Gogeta ain't got too much block stun, but, like, let me see. Gotink C. See, you can do Gotink C, for example. You know, if you got a beam, it don't have to be a C assist beam, but just a beam. That's the kind of idea I'm trying to get y'all. You know, you can do that, plus a beam and dash in. So, again, just like 5S, you just got to be a little creative with it, you know, and not be too autopilot. That's what I feel like people fall into that habit with Broly. You can get really autopilot with him. So, be careful about that. And this as well. You actually can get punished for this. So, of course, I set the computer to do that just so I can show you. But if somebody in Spark and then they just see you do this, they can just hold vanish and then just punish you clean. So, be very careful. Like, I cannot stress that enough. Be very careful using this move. So, next thing is the EX Lariat. So, EX Lariat is goes full screen, is fast. So, the nice thing about this that I'm just now starting to use is you can use this to just get in. You can use this to get in. Now, since it's somewhat on the slow side, you know, just kind of how he charging up, somebody can be like, if they just jumping in the air like this, they can just punish you in super dash. Like, let me see. Oh, definitely not like that. Like that. They can do something like that. Now, depending on what assist you have, like a barrier or something, that wouldn't be an issue for you. You know, that'll cover you. But like if you just got like a straight up regular assist, then, you know, be mindful using that. I feel like I done said that a lot. I don't know why. That's just a common thing with Broly is be mindful of stuff. He has stuff that's good, but stuff you have to be mindful of. So I can do this and get in just like that. You know, like if I don't feel like zoning, and that'll make people scared to super dash, because I could just do that. And that's a punish right there. Let me see. I put it on guard all. Let's see. Yeah, see, I did too, and then immediately did it. So that'll make people more scared about trying to super dash them. And then that also mixes up the option of people expecting this and mixing in with that. And mixing in with the fake dash. Not fake dash, but just a dash to kind of throw off their timing. So you just got to be a little creative with Broly's with his neutral. But that's all really for EX tackle. It ain't nothing else really, you know. And Another thing is Broly's air grab. So this is the regular grab, and then this is how it look charged up. You see I'm much closer to TN now. That's a new buff they gave him. Same as EX. EX goes way farther now. Or way further now, that's what it is. So, the way you use this, I'll give you an example. Let me see if I did it right. Alright, let's see. Alright, so you see the regular version. I might have messed it up, but let's see. Yeah, I definitely messed it up. Okay, let's see. So that missed. Let's see if this one. There we go. Excellent. Excellent example. So y'all see. I jump forward, that missed. But if I do the charge, oh, that you getting scooped for days. Now, I haven't really found any usefulness for that yet, besides a combo that I do with Gotenks. So I'll show you an example. So people that watch me play, y'all know I love doing this. So normally, they made that route, or that ender, much easier for me because I'm able to just charge and it goes further for me. Originally, I had to dash up and then do the air grab so I can time it right. But now they made that a little easier for me. So, big W for that. When it comes to this air grab, remember how I was talking about earlier, people like to, float in versus the key blast and all that. That's when you'll have to learn to do the Tiger Knee air grab. And for those that don't know Tiger Knee is basically the definition behind it. I don't even know why they call it Tiger Knee, but the definition behind it is basically doing a move and you barely off the ground. So you see how I'm barely off the ground? Barely off the ground, and I do the air grab, which allows me to, you see, I would have missed right there if I just did it regularly. But see, if I'm barely off the ground, then they get scooped. And in combination with a C assist, good old C assist, I can get a full combo, which is very nice. Broly EX air grab with a C assist is really good. You get a lot of nice conversions that you otherwise wouldn't get really. See, so learn to use his air grabs, because that'll make people more scared of trying to approach you, because now when you're protecting the skies like this, now they don't know what to do. And a side note, his 2H you can use as well to so you see that there, you can do 2H. Now say for instance somebody, for example, they coming in with a jump in. Now you get to do that. See, and you got enough time to kind of register if it hit or not, compared to if they were to just jump in and block. Like you just wait, then confirm in the tackle, assist, and continue your pressure. So I think that's it for Broly's neutral. That's it for Broly neutral in my opinion. His neutral is, he got a lot of good stuff, but all this stuff you have to be careful of. One thing I forgot to mention is if somebody big brain, they really could just get you like this. Now, if somebody did that to me, I honestly would probably quit low key. But like, that's really good. Um, you know, somebody really big brain and they try to get you. But people ain't really doing that. But like I say, I'd quit if somebody did that to me. Um, so that is all for Broly Neutral. He got a lot of good stuff, but also stuff that you got to be able to mix it up. You can't get too predictable with it. He got a lot of good stuff that can easily be abused, and it can easily make you go on autopilot because of how good the options are. So I guess that's, you know, Broly Neutral in a nutshell, maybe other characters, but yeah. Now it's time to move on to his assists. Broly's assists, I feel like Broly has, do I want to say his C assist good? I don't know. I'm kind of indifferent about his C assist. His A assist, I want to say it's his best one. You know, it's a solid assist. You know, ain't nothing. It's not nothing like out of this world crazy like Vegito A and nothing like that. But it's solid. It gets the job done, and it works well for my team. You know, and goes through deflects projectiles. Goes against not deflects projectiles. It deflects key blasts, and as y'all see, you know, collides with projectiles, so it negates that, which is nice. And for Vegito, you see, deflects the key blast. Now, if I call them at the same time, Broly gets smoked. Or if I call him a little late, Broly gets smoked. Look, now he ain't get smoked when I say it. It's kind of iffy with that assist. So that's the nice thing about Broly. And I guess another thing that I could add in about his 5S, we're going to extend this real quick. His 5S just smokes Vegito. If somebody tries to call Vegito A, since you can angle his 5S, he just smokes it. See, I literally waited and smoked Vegito A. So, forgot to mention that. Alright, now back to his assist. So, Broly A is just, you know, it's a solid, it's a slow moving projectile. I kind of like that it moves slow because you can kind of advance behind it, you know. And it has pretty good hit stun too. So if it were to hit, see, you got enough time to register what happened because of how slow it is, and you're basically traveling behind it. Now, the one, oh, it has good block stun too. Let me include that. Plus 30. They buffed that. They buffed that when they gave him that barrier buff last patch. So, very nice block stun. You can fuzzy with it now since it's plus 30. And I messed it up, but this ain't a Gogeta video, this is a Broly video, so we'll worry about it another day. So, yeah, his Broly A is solid. I like Broly A. His B assist, I'm not good with these type of assists, so I kind of stay away from it, but I really feel like this C assist low-key, this B assist low-key kind of good. So they actually buffed this assist over time because it used to be absolutely terrible at one point, and they fixed it. Because originally, so you see it's 5 hits now. It used to be like what, 2-3 hits or something like that. Like it was a bootleg Super Saiyan Vegeta A assist. Now I feel like it kind of has its own identity in a way. Block stun nice too, even though you can super dash. You know. Plus 53. And you see how far back he is? he actually used to be closer at one point. So like where I'm at now with Gogeta crouching, Broly would be literally right behind him. So it was easy to kind of hit Broly out of it if you tried to like bait somebody to mash or something like that. So like if you look at Vegito is very far back. Broly is same thing. Just you can't hit Vegito, you can't hit Broly. Now the cool thing about Broly's B assist is it kind of contests as I say that he gets smoked, but as you can see, the B assist, the B assist, you know, kind of rivals Vegito A in a way. You know, and it goes full screen, which is nice. And another thing, so I use Gotenks B so I can show y'all this. Broly legs are just completely, just not even there, which is nice. You know, so Broly A is basically the same stuff that you will see when people doing stuff like this. The same way you would use Vegito A or any, you know, bait style assist. So ain't nothing too crazy about it, but part of me really want to try and use it, but I don't really care for those RPS scrambly kind of assists. You know, Broly A works so perfectly for me, but I ain't gonna lie to y'all, I be thinking about trying it. And his C assist, people swear up and down his C assist plus 29, not bad. People swear up and down his C assist just like so amazing. Like when people talk about C assist, people rank this assist so high. Now, I will admit, you know, it does have armor, which is really nice. It does have armor. So if somebody were to try and super dash, let me see if the armor can show. Oh, I know what I can do. There we go. So it can armor through stuff. So if somebody, for example, tried to dash through, Broly can armor through it. Oh, that's kind of nice, low key. You know, he can't armor through it and keep them in block stun while they trying to dash through. So I guess that is kind of nice. But besides that, you know, besides it having armor, what's the plus startup 35? Let me see Gogeta see. Oh, wrong fella. Yeah, Gogeta is plus startup 30 frame startup, Broly 35. So it's a little bit on the slow side, but you know that's fine too because you can make nice setups. You know, you can in a way you can kind of use this as a base style assist too because it has that armor. So you can do something like this. You know, people like to mash on Gotenks. And of course he would get hit. Why is he getting hit? Alright, maybe he's just too close to the corner, but alright, that assist weird. But you know, his CSS got some nice little perks to it, I would say. But that's all for his assist. Just wanted to show y'all how his assists look, because you hardly ever see people run the C assist unless they got 20 frames of delay online and they don't know what they're doing. and you hardly, if ever, see Broly B, so I just figured I'll show y'all. But on to the block strings. So Broly block strings, his block strings got nerfed a little bit. So, you know, remember you was able to do 5M in block strings, 2M came, well, you couldn't really do 5M in block strings anyway, it was unsafe. But 2M is -11 now. So more recovery, you can't use it in block strings like that, or at all really anymore. You know, 5M got nerfed because I guess, you know, people was doing this with Broly and not Vegito, so they nerfed Broly players was doing backdash 5M over and over, and I guess Vegito wasn't doing that, so they nerfed Broly 5M range instead of Vegito. But I digress. So his his man, that was such a stupid nerf. Oh my goodness. All right. His block strings is different, but you can still make it work. I do feel like Broly, I don't remember if I said it in this one or the other one before I deleted it, is that Broly feels better mid now because he can use assists. I feel like he can still hold his own by himself, but he a little more tame by himself, and I feel like he better with having an assist behind him now than he ever was before. So now they did make his 2L 0 on block, which is really good. So you know how most of the time we delay like this. Since this is 0 on block, you can kind of delay it a little bit more. Well, at least that's what it looked like. Because it looked like I can just do this, and the delay is just as... The delay looked like it's just as fast compared to if I did 2L to this. So, as y'all can see, he can't do 2L to that. Probably would be broke if he could do that, so I ain't even mad about that. So, he just got to delay it a little bit, and then, you know, he just do light grab. So the way I do Broly's pressure now is 5L, 2L. So this is kind of the problem I have with them giving Broly this, because, so you see if I do this, I set him standing. So you see this? This don't look like a problem, right? Because I just got back in. I could just do 5L out. The problem is, most of the time people are crouching, and Broly 5L whiffs. His 5L whiffs. So what you have to do in place of that is you have to dash like that. So a good way to test it is, you know, to see if it really works. So you see I actually get hit. Now, you see it ain't no delay. The computer is just doing jab right away. And the reason this is important that I'm mentioning this is a lot of people say stuff is reactable, people can just punish, blah, blah, blah. But y'all gotta remember, we are all human. Everybody make mistakes. Human error comes into play with all this stuff. So you're not gonna find somebody that just be like, oh, he did this, I'm about to punish right away. You know, people, that's why staggers are so strong in this game, is because it plays on people trying to do stuff and interrupt things in between block strings. So with this, so if you put it to, let me see, delay it by maybe 3 frames or so. See, now if I did 2L again, it actually hits them. Let me see if I do it off 1. See, it don't work. But if I do it off 2, it don't work. But off 3, you know, and you see how he jabs. That's kind of like the way I practice stuff. You know, I kind of um, delay the frames of when they gonna do it by, you know, if they still in this ballpark right here, like 3, I'm like, okay, that's still good. I can do that in a match where somebody might second guess themselves for half a second and then they try to press a jab, then it still works. But if I, for example, trying to delay it by like this, see, ain't nobody gonna do that. See, nobody is gonna be delayed like that and then try to punish. Y'all know what I mean? So hopefully I explained that well. But that's kind of how I practice my block strings, and I can see what's still good to use, even if it was delayed by like a couple of frames or so. Because again, nobody is robots. Nobody is punishing stuff with the snap of a finger, you know. So just keep that in mind. So you can do this and then just dash up, or you can, you know, you do this. And the good thing is Broly's 2L actually, see, 5L works the same way. See, so Broly 2L actually works too. So if somebody were to try to super dash preemptively, you can just do that and then get a nice combo from it. And another good thing about his 2L being 0 on block, you can kind of just make the opponent scared to do something because you just keep pressing this. And since it's 0 on block like Gogeta, I don't know if y'all remember me ever talking about this. You see how fast you're able to Dragon Rush compared to... You can kind of see the difference, right? I'm doing 5LL and then I did Dragon Rush compared to... You see, it looks a bit faster, right? So Broly kind of gets that same thing too, which is nice. So another thing that you can do, and this is kind of abusing the space a little bit. So remember I said 2M is negative. So you see how I get punished up? But if I do this, 5L, 2L, 2M, I'm out of range. You know, so you can kind of do stuff like that to kind of like mix things up. But for the most part, your main block strings is gonna be this, like it always been: 5L, 5L, 5LL, and now 5L, 2L, or just 2L, 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 dash up. So that's basically Broly pressure there. Now, his frame traps, well, not his frame traps, but another thing I want to mention is using barrier and block strings. Barrier and block strings is actually pretty good. I love doing this. So, Gotenks B is plus 40. And, you know, you can do stuff like this. Hold on. See? So what's good about this is that having this big shield just over Broly in the corner like this, it makes it very scary. And then doing Dragon Rush, you know, because people try to react to that green flash, having the green shield, you can't see that. And another good thing about this is characters like Super Saiyan 4, Beerus, those are only two off the top of my head, you know, who got DPs that count as projectiles. So you see, That's why I like putting a barrier on top of Gogeta, because you know he can vanish because it's counted as a hit, but it's just the fact that he can't do nothing. You know, he has to hold that. So I would say doing barrier and block strings is really good. Just that initial, that spark, that you know, that bright light when he first put the shield up really comes in handy. So I say that's something to keep in mind. And EX tackle, or not EX tackle, 5H is a frame trap. So that blows up vanish. Y'all know I talk about frame traps. That's stuff that blows up vanish instantly, no matter what you do. So this is for people that's preemptively holding up. You know, just assuming you're gonna do command grab. 5H blows that up. So what I like to do is, just in case they block it, I'm calling assist behind me. You see, I'm calling assist behind me. That way, you know, even if they block, I can still continue my pressure. So now, if you include that, like with good old C assist, you know, I can do something like this, and now, you know, I get a full combo. And depending on what assist you have, like, you can do the float mix. Depending on what assist you have, and the block stun and the pushback, you can do the float mix now. Well, not now, you've always been able to, but off 2L you can. Like, I couldn't do this with my team, or with GoTeams B off 2L. But since they buffed it to be 0 on block, I can float mix, and I can always do it off 5L or L. I'm messing it up, but y'all saw me do it earlier. So, now, if y'all didn't know, I talked about float mix in another video, so if y'all haven't seen that, check it out. I'll put it down in the comment section below. Now his EX tackle. So you might be thinking to yourself, why would I do this? Because you can clearly vanish. So this is my EX tackle tech I like to do. So you see what happened? They vanish, but GoTeams B comes in behind. And don't worry, this is not exclusive to GoTeams B. I can do this with Gogeta B assist. So I would assume whatever assist you have, this works perfectly. And the beauty of this is, if they were to block this, then they just you still keep your pressure up anyway. So that's really nice to do. And this blows up, this frame traps against people holding up, because most of the time people that be reacting, quote unquote, they try to react to this, the flash, the Broly, because most of the time the only EX you seeing is EX grab. So people, as soon as they see a flash, they think EX grab, so they try to jump. But that happens. And you know, in my case, you know, now I get a full confirm. So that's something to keep in mind of. And for people that's under the sound of my voice, please listen. Stop doing this. Stop doing medium grab into vanish. You see that damage? That was 2885. Now, EX grab. Y'all see the difference? Stop doing medium grab and then vanish. Please stop. So, depending on what assist you have, I'm pretty sure y'all seen me do this before. You can use assist to cover you while you're doing a command grab. So, like in this case, no matter what the CPU does, the C assist will cover me. And then if they don't press none, let me see, and they just get grabbed. So that's something to test out with your team and see, does that work? Because certain assists don't do that. Like Gotenks B don't do that for me because Gotenks goes ahead of me. He not all the way behind me. So this don't work like that. But it does cover if somebody were to super dash though. So that's nice. But you know, people be mashing vanish a lot, so it ain't all that to me at the same time. So you just keep that in mind. And light grab, this is 17 frame startup light grab, so faster than the medium and the EX, so you can do stuff like this. And you know, pestering with 2L over and over to this is gold. So you make sure you incorporate that. And of course, when it comes to, you know, characters that have DPs and stuff like that, and mash and super dash and vanish, you have to worry about, you know, people trying to mash. So as a grappler, that's one thing that's very important, is you got to worry about, you got to pay attention to people's habits, how they like to react when they blocking Broly or any of your characters. If they got command grabs, they like to hold up, are they mash and vanish a lot, you know, things like that. So like, I can set them to vanish and I can do this, see, and I just delay my streams. So that's something to just be mindful of when it comes to, you know, using your command grabs. Now, the thing with command grabs is, you know, you can apply this for any game y'all play down the line for characters with command grabs. It's important to have the thought of the command grab is more scary than having it, because people in their mind is already trying to think about what they gonna do, how they gonna react, you know. So they got all these ideas in their head, all these options to try to escape. So sometimes just having a thought, just having that command grab is scary in itself. You might play somebody that do one grab, and all that grab is just to show you that I will do it. And after that, now they delaying their strings the rest of the match, and now you just mind effed. But that is all the Broly block strings that I do that I feel is pretty effective. So hopefully y'all can apply that, you know, to y'all self. So the next thing and the last thing, I don't think nothing else after this, is the Oki, the setups. It was one thing I forgot to include for Broly for the block strings is this. So y'all see how he set the vanish. If I do light tackle with true block strings, you see they vanish afterwards. Same thing for, you know, if I were to do this with an assist, of course. Now, what you can do, like, you know, because people know you can punish 2M afterwards, this is what I like to do. I like to delay the light tackle afterwards, because then it frame traps if somebody try to vanish, you know, if somebody tried to hold up, you know, or things like that. And, you know, you get a nice confirm after. See? And they tried to hold up. So, you know, it's something you could just add in. You know, now you're getting some nice damage from it. So, I just had to add that real quick. Didn't want to leave that out. Now, on to the Oki. Hey y'all, so I figured I made the decision that the Oki setups, since it ain't really much to explain, I can just easily show it without explaining over it. I just decided to do clips for it, so I won't be talking over it. I just let the clips rock on its own. So thank y'all for watching. Hope everything that y'all about to see and before it helped y'all, and let me know in the comment section, any concerns, questions, or tips you may have, because not everything I say is law. It might be things I overlooked. So, give ideas, share away. Y'all take care. Y'all have a nice day.
Too slow. Get ready. Is that it? Give me a break. Hit for there. Give me a break. Too slow. Too slow. Keep on. Get ready. Keep on. Give me a break. What? Keep on. Fine, I'll help you out. I'll put you out of your misery. I am unbeatable. Get ready. I'll help you out. Here's a present for you. Give me a break. Get ready. Where you think you're going? I'll put you out of your misery. Too slow. Too slow. Get ready. Where you think you're going? I'll put you out of your misery. Too slow. Give me a break. Too slow. Where do you think you're going? Here's a present for you. Come back. Is that it? Where do you think you're going? I'll put you out of your misery. Come back. Give me a break. Too slow. Give me a break. What? Come back. Where do you think you're going? I'll put you out of your misery. Come back. Too slow. Where do you think you're going?